Hello! Hello and welcome everyone to the College of Inspiration, where we seek to inspire you with our role-playing adventures. Today we are continuing our session of Arkpoint, our urban fantasy noir game. Sorry. My brain just completely blanked there. Yes.
Excellent.
Before we get into it, just a few quick shout-outs. Thank you to Scarlet Song and Eldritch Flatcap for character art and NPC art for this campaign.
Yeah.
Also, we have set up a wonderful merch store where you can get Arkpoint themed clothing and stickers and I think a big blanket of the map, which
An apron.
yes, buffer steak apron, love it.
Don't forget to use a buffer steak. Don't use the buffer steak, please. I'm begging you.
Yes. Can't think of anything else to music. Oh, yes. The music that I use for Arkpoint has throughout the campaign has been provided by Kevin MacLeod. And some background elements by the tabletop audio. So, thank you to those.
Hell yeah.
Woo. Woo.
Hype.
Oh, I'm so nervous. Why am I so nervous?
I have no
Why
idea why I
am I
know
so nervous?
Because you're in character.
Yeah, no, she's pretty
yeah.
damn nervous right now, it's true.
Or anyone who may be joining us on their first episode of Arkpoint, welcome. Who will be playing today?
Oh. Thank you. So I am your game master, Cosmo. He, him.
Yeah.
We have Miss Cotta, played by the wonderful Scarlet Song. She, her.
Yaha.
Janus Amberwood, played by our friend JuniperFinch.
Oh.
He, him. Scoop, the private eye, played by Rain. He, him. And the accountant, played by Alexander Chronist. He.
Hello, everybody.
And with that...
Oh my gosh.
Say
No more
Say
voice,
the
no more
line.
voice, no more voice, no more voice.
Last time on Arkpoint.
This fuck. No.
The accountant, Scoop, and Miss Cotta started their investigation into the missing teenagers, James Amberwood and Azalea Sidorano. They went to Mr. Sidorano's place of business, the financial accounting firm, where they both talked to the father himself and to one of the secretaries that worked there,
Maxine.
Where they learnt some information. One, they found not quite a ransom note, but almost, with some what seems to be rust on it. They also learned that there was a disgruntled, not client, but someone who may have been put out by the work of their firm. We also checked in with young Amberwood himself, tied up, and he had a small chat with his kidnappers. learning that they had no idea who he was. They were just after something from Sideranos. Then the rest of the crew searched the streets for any kind of clue to the whereabouts of they searched the crime scene itself for any clues, and then finally made their way towards the bar where these two were last seen, the Fox's Glove. And Miss Cotta pulled the accountant aside and gave a somewhat ominous warning.
I would like to consider it begging, but you know, each to their own. She doesn't realize she's being threatening.
That's okay. I don't realize when I'm being threatened.
Match made in heaven.
Yes, let's rejoin our crew, or 3/4 of it, just outside the Fox's Glove.
Yeah, let's limber up. Let's get ready.
It's probably just after midday at this point in the day. The streets are somewhat busy. There's hustle and bustle of the workday around you. Though it seems the Fox's Glove there doesn't seem to be any patrons like coming in or out. There's no bouncer at the door. But you can see that the lights are on inside.
Now, just for my recollection, we said Miss Cotta doesn't have to go in. Did we say where Miss Cotta would be instead?
Miss Cotta, for her part, would have probably told you that she was planning on keeping, like, she'd be there to run in as backup if backup was necessary. Somewhere nearby. She didn't specify where. She's too busy. I think you've seen her like running her hands through her like in and out of her basket, and like she looks like she really doesn't want to be there. And once you get up to be maybe a block away, probably she has said, "All right, I'll see you in a minute," and it just disappeared. Just straight up disappeared. I'll be watching.
So you've cast invisibility?
Yes, I have. You damn right I have. She's hoping it doesn't take longer than an hour for sure, but she is invisible for sure. She's hiding. She's nope.
Right, you are then. Well, I suppose it's a generally good sign, Mr. Scoop. If things go pear-shaped, would you mind running out into the street and calling for help?
Sounds like a
I'm
good
still
idea.
here. I'm just not visible. Give me a second. At least let me leave for 5 seconds. I'll be on a roof. Or in an alley. How close I can get without anybody potentially seeing me. She says completely invisible.
It's more so pertaining to the fact that the sounds of violence do not inherently mean that you are required.
Oh, fair. Yes, Scoop, please, scream.
This is an out of character thing, but can I stretch the abilities of my magic item for testing?
Potentially? What do you want to do?
Alright, backing character. Scoop goes, I have an idea. And pulls it as a notepad, and pulls it as an emerald pen, and writes in big ass letters, help. Then rips that off, hands it to you, and it vanishes. Well, the word help vanishes.
So you can't see me, so as she picks it to the right side of her and puts it in the paper, I'm assuming disappears with her.
Yeah, if it helps the DM, I'm right. I kind of want to have treat this as a concentration thing.
Yeah. No, I get what you're trying to do. So, like,
concentration.
when you have, when you want it to, the word help will appear so Miss Cotta can see it. Yeah.
Excellent.
Cool.
That seems pretty self-explanatory, I think. And dust his hands, of which a bunch of chalk dust appears.
The accountant just is, he's gonna nod to that one. Magic is beyond me. I'm good.
Not something you really deal with. Okay. Well, the fox's glove awaits.
Well, I suppose we head on in.
Yes,
I will knock as I enter, presuming the door is unlocked.
As you knock, the door sort of like opens. It wasn't even closed properly.
I will stride on in.
Cool. We find ourselves in the interior. It is there is no one in here at the moment. It is still, the temperature is quite nice. It seems they've got the airflow really well. What you do hear though is some voices sort of from the back room. A conversation. You hear, "Oh, come on, Rick. You know we were always taught to share." Like, "Hannah, dearest, if we were to share, that would imply a two-way transaction." And these two figures walk from the back room to outside, like, "Oh, we have Mr. Accountant. How can I help you?" And you see Rykki and Panama, the two tiefling twins, lieutenants of the Atello family.
Good afternoon, Mr. Rykki. Madam,
Hey, handsome.
I wish to ask you some questions pertaining to an incident that occurred near enough to your establishment. Do you have the time?
Of course. I expected this. How can I help you?
Firstly, allow me to introduce my colleague. This is Mr. Scoop. He is a detective. He's helping me on this investigation, as our outcomes are quite well aligned, as it appears.
Yeah, and also, I'd like a question or two as well.
Of course, detective. Whatever I can help to do to further your investigation.
Thank you.
It is of our understanding that two patrons, one Azalea Sidorano, and another young teenage or young adolescent male, was also here. This would have been last night, I believe. Correct?
Yes.
And I offer a description of Janus. Does this ring any bells to either of you, if you happen to also be here as well, madam?
You know I was with you last night. Yes, no. Of course. They will hear, well after midnight. The two seem to be getting along quite well and left this establishment together. Yeah, I'd say maybe 1 in the morning.
Did you happen to notice any other individuals who may have been taking an interest in either persons? We have reason to believe that people were, how would you say, awaiting their leaving of your establishment.
I'm not sure I noticed that at all.
Would I be able to insight that check there?
You may.
Poor. 8.
He seems genuine.
Might I be able to aid him in that, since I have just a ridiculous amount of features that do that?
Yes, you're perfectly able to do this.
Would you like to roll that with advantage, and I'll I'll just elbow you on the side.
I meant 15, actually.
Yeah, no, you feel that he just doesn't, like, the way he said it, you're not sure he remembers. He didn't notice anything if he did.
And these two, were there many other patrons in your bar during that, around that midnight, 1 a.m. period?
Oh yes, we are quite popular. Like, we not as full as we were earlier in the night, but we still had quite a few people, so I was busy attending to the bar, of course.
Of course. I kind of look to Scoop to not gesture, but invite, I suppose.
Do you have any means of measuring time in here or anything like that? Do you anything like, by any chance, do I don't know, do bingo at a certain time? Things that might help form a timeline. Like, what is your last call, or...
Well, last call is usually around 4. It depends on how busy the night is. If we have things to peter out, it can go earlier.
Are they still drinking by that time, or...?
No, as I said, I think they left probably around 1 or 2 in the morning, like long before we had last call.
Alright then. What, if I might be so bold as to ask, is your relation to this bar owner and... Sorry, I didn't catch your profession?
Who are you talking to there?
Panama.
Oh, me? He's my brother. Can you see the resemblance?
Scoop genuinely takes a moment to, like, peer at the two of them.
Bless this dragon boy.
Yeah. No, I wasn't here last night. I was with your friend.
Alright.
So.
Scoop writes that down.
Now, another question. As we have heard, the Azalea Sidorano, the young woman who is missing, we understand that she enjoys this venue on a regular occurrence. Are you familiar with her on a perhaps more personal basis? Mr. Rykki.
As you say this, you sort of see Anima like give him a bit of a side glance. He's like, yes, she is a regular. To be honest, I'm a bit of a friend of her father's, so I tend to keep an eye on her while she's here. Make sure that they are safe.
Well, not doing a particularly good job of it.
Well, what goes on outside the bar, I have no control over now, do I?
Fair point. I retract my statement. And I scribble it in my own notes.
Actually, that is not explicitly accurate, Mr. Rykki, as I understand that your establishment employs a bouncer on a regular occurrence.
Yes.
Was this individual working last night?
He would have been,
They
yeah.
may have been a witness.
Potentially. Depends on where all this went down. I'll say now, like, where they were grabbed, a few blocks from here. Like, not within sight of the thing.
These two young individuals, how would you say, you are a bartender, as it were. This is your establishment, I understand. I would say that makes you perhaps, how would you describe? You've seen a lot of people experiencing a lot of feelings, I imagine. Those who come here in their lowest moments and those in their highest. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, I would say that.
How would you describe the two individuals? Were they having a good evening? Perhaps they look concerned? Anything of that nature?
They seem to be enjoying their company, both each other's and their friends. There was a group of them, but those two were the last ones to stay behind. They seem to be, having a good time together, from what I can tell.
Of course. Well, Mr. Scoop, do you have any other further questions before we can stop interrupting these lovely citizens?
We have a physical description of one person who might be a suspect. The name of Pat. Tall, healthy, orcish, perhaps disgruntled, curly brown hair, hazel eyes.
That does sound a little familiar. Yeah, probably the other week we had someone come in like that. Seemed really down on his luck. He got a bit. It said something about losing his business. Something about a scrap metal business.
Wow.
He seemed pretty upset and felt pretty drunk. I didn't get much out of that. It was another busy night, so I wasn't there having a long conversation with him, but
Of course. Did you happen to catch the name of his business by chance?
no, unfortunately, no.
Can I just double check that one?
What do you mean?
As in, is he lying?
Yeah, give an insight.
My personal favorite part is like Rykki breathes. The accountant. Is he lying to me?
What? Ricky's a trustworthy guy.
Apparently he is.
I would also like to insight that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Where is my... Ooh, this will be good. Insight. Plus. So that's a unnatural 20, muddy 20, I forget.
Muddy 20.
Muddy 20?
Woo!
Muddy 20.
Muddy 20's in chat. Yeah. He honestly seems like he just doesn't know the name of that place.
Right, then. Well, this might seem like an odd question, but I hold up a lock of hair that I found in the street. Does this look familiar to either of you?
I mean, Panama's just like, is that someone's hair? Why are you...
It was found at the crime scene.
Uh-huh. Ricky's looking at it like, looks like some thick hair. There's a lot of people in the city with thick hair. Did you narrow it down?
No, not much. I'll put it back in my pocket.
Well, I suppose then we will thank you for your time, Mr. Rykki, madam. Apologies
Gives
for
you a
any
little wave.
inconvenience.
Oh, no inconvenience at all, Mr. Accountant. Appreciate you taking your time to thoroughly go through this job.
One step at a time, ma'am.
I hope you find them.
Oh, rest assured, we will. With that, Mr. Scoop, if everything is up to your satisfaction, we can take our leave.
Scoop's gonna give the bar like just a quick once over visually. Doesn't seem like there's anything more to divine in here. Well, we'll be going now. Don't leave town. As I pointed them with the finger.
I had no plans to investigate her.
Good. And looks visibly happy and goes to leave.
And I will follow after him. Offer them a polite nod before I leave.
Like as you leave, you probably just hear like catch a quick thing of Panama. What the fuck was that about? As you step back out into the street.
We will kind of walk back. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna ask, what has Miss Cotta been doing this whole time?
Miss Cotta, for her part, has been like my heart's in my throat right now. Miss Cotta, for her part, she said she was going to find a building, stand on top of it, maybe like scale it, no difference. Keep an eye out, keep watch.
Mm-hmm.
But even as she's like half consciously avoiding the people around her invisibly as they walk by her, as she's approaching a building in the other direction, she pauses, cannot resist. She can't. There's like this gentle and hesitant step. Like if she gets within a certain radius, they'll know. They'll know for sure. Or he'll know because she has no idea. And Miss Cotta, if possible, would like to find, as distantly as she can, some sort of side window just to catch a glimpse of them.
That is easily done. You sort of find one of the side windows and peek a glance through, and in there you can see Scoop and the accountant talking with Panama and Rykki, two tieflings.
Her heart's in her throat. She's shaking. I'm gonna roll a concentration check because I don't know if she can right now. Oh nope, she manages it. She's
Okay, you
innately...
stay invisible during this, but your mind definitely wanders.
She's freaking out. She watches as they interact. She can't quite hear them. There's his tail slowing down again. Panama, why didn't you start picking your nails like that? And she can't think. She's just... The wind picks up and...
The wind picks up and reminds you of a night long ago where a storm had blown in.
I'm gonna cry. This is so good.
You were probably...
Alright, this goes here.
Yeah, it's just organizing in the library. And
I don't know why he keeps getting in so many new books. Surely the budget can't handle this.
and as you're organizing these books, you hear the patter of some feet running up to you. Two small children. White skin, grey horns, short hair, but one of them's starting to messily put some color in, and it's not the best dye job, but...
Panna, where did you get the pink? Is it still wet?
Only because of the rain.
And she realizes that they're like wet and shivering, and oh my goodness, come here. What is wrong with you two? I swear. Are
Hannah,
you?
Hannah said that she was brave enough to go out in the storm, and I said she wasn't.
Oh, and I'm sure you did after you went out in the storm with her. Don't lie to me, Rykki.
Well,
You know better than that. I can always tell.
sorry, Tara.
Don't apologize to me. Apologize to your sister for lying to my face and trying to throw her under the proverbial cart again, young man.
He looks down at his feet. Sorry, Hannah.
Mm-hmm. Now
And
come here.
As
Let's
you,
dry you off.
yeah, as you're drying them off, like a crack of thunder sounds, and you feel them both sort of like stiffen a little.
Oh, my sweet little dears, you're not scared of this rain, are you? You just went out in it.
I mean, it's pretty loud.
You scream louder than that cracks. And besides, don't worry, this guy's just having a party. Oh, come here, come here, come here. And she runs her hands. The Terra in this picture is younger. Her hair is much shorter. It sits at sort of a bob. She wears probably still way too many knives that one should have around children. They can't see it though. It's under a set of suspenders, fine trousers that have seen some scuff, but she tries to keep them neat. There's some signs of repair marks along the hem. She wears a white shirt that has sort of some imprinted staining. Now partially pink as she takes the jacket that she's not supposed to be getting fully wet or damp, but she doesn't matter. The twins need to be cleaned up a little bit. And as she's like patting them dry, and she runs her fingers through the hair, gets them caught in a knot, nicks the comb that she knows that Ricky's been hiding in his pocket to try and look cool and style himself because he's starting to get to that age, and fixes up some of the brushes it through as they both slowly start to relax in her arms as she sort of hums to them. All right. You're not going to leave me alone to sort books until you're calm, are you?
Can you read us a story? Please.
You're lucky you're cute. Which one's your favorite? I mean, I know which one's your favorite, but which one would you like to hear? Which one do you need to hear right now?
That one about the storms.
Well, if you know the lesson from that one, you should probably not be so scared of it, right? And she reaches over to a different section. The bookshelf is newer than the rest of them. It's much smaller too. There are books that have been worn through again and again. You know, this one was my favorite when I first came here too. And she sits down, not at the benches. No, this isn't bench time. This is sitting on the big rug near the fire that she'd lit to keep the area dry and the books not damp because moisture and paper never seem to mix. All right. Now, keep each other warm. I would make you tea, but I think you're not going to let me leave this library till you get a story, so cuddle up.
They one on either side of you, sort of cuddle up here.
You're lucky he's so patient with all of us like this, I swear. All right. She opens the book. And Once upon a time, before those who spoke used their tongues for malicious intent, and the righteous and defiant gods regarded each other as kin, the one who was the sky grew dark and sad, and their child, the rain god, began to weep. Slowly at first, but then the rain poured down, and those below the sky who could only walk feared drowning. They could not stop it. The sky was just brimming with sadness, and it overflowed to their children, and they began to cry too. No one knew what happened, but they all tried to cheer the sky up. The sun tried to warm them with compliments to banish the dark, but the clouds blocked their words. The earth tried to catch every tear and called it precious, but soon it grew too much. And the lightning and thunder, who were the loudest of the sky's children, tried to distract them with music and lights, but none of it seemed to work. She starts to run her hands through both of their hairs. They probably have started to lean in on her lap either side, but it was the wind who had been a silent companion through the sky's every childhood, and feeling that knew what to do when the others had tried and it all had failed. Now, as we both know, and as we all know, singing works different for the elements than it does for us. They don't have mouths like we do, except for caves and rivers, which is why they sing like we do. But when the wings sang, it howled and howled like a defiant beast. It danced and pushed the clouds that hid the sky, directed the dance to the children, and showed them in their solidarity that when the moments were dark and everything had passed, that the sky was not alone. And the sky understood. And so the darkness slowly ebbed away, and it ceased. And then they smiled so beautifully. It broke through that darkness, and the sun could peek through, catching the drops. And that is why we have rainbows. All right?
Thank you, Tara.
No worries, you two. You know I'm here if you need it.
Yeah. You're always here for us, aren't you?
For as long as I can be useful to both of you, I'll be here. All right?
Do we have another?
No, don't be cheeky, Rykki. This is almost like desserts. Go on, change your clothes. It's gonna be dinner soon. Oh, and I've got to get started on stuff for the job tonight. Oh, what time is it? Is it tea time? Oh no. And she goes, come on, you two.
And you.
And she ushers them out of the library.
Yeah.
Book on the table now. And the terror that is Miss Cotta is still frozen.
As we come back to the present. You probably snapped out of the memory as you catch the accountant and Scoop leaving the establishment, and the twins start talking to each other.
She hesitates, following for a second, just trying to catch their voices for just the briefest moment. But inevitably, she tears herself away. Hands to her chest. Crushing something against it. Tries to pull herself together as she falls in line but doesn't quite speak up yet because she doesn't realize she hasn't dropped the invisibility yet. She's just following.
So Accountant and Scoop, where are you headed?
I'm gonna be heading us back to where we had separated from Miss Cotta. Kind of probably get back maybe a block away before the accountant actually says something.
You know, Mr. Scoop, you are an incredible asset.
Thank you.
You are very welcome, my friend. How do you think that went?
It went reasonably well. We didn't learn basically anything about, well, anything more than we knew. Well, I guess we technically knew the whereabouts of two of the people that worked there. I mean, one of them stayed at yours.
Just for the record, they did not stay at mine.
It says they were with you last night. I've read in my notes.
A gross exaggeration, I assure you.
I think Miss Cotta is making faces, just like, what is going on? Not
But no.
assuming, but like, what is going on?
Let's say
Visibly.
we did learn that this Pat fellow we want to talk to has a scrap metal company that may have been shut down. That's a
Oh,
lead.
so I
we
was
could
right.
follow that. What the hell?
You
Scoop
were
wheels
correct.
around. Hello.
As like she like kind of like walks kind of in a way that like appears behind, roughly between the accountant, like as if she'd been hiding behind him. She hadn't, she'd just been following, and kind of sticks her head out. So I was right, but she has no idea about this, but it's very clear that she has been severely crying. Like she's got like redness in her cheeks. There is like signs that she has been absolutely like distraught without honestly realizing it. As
Sorry,
she kind
did
of
you
peeks her
say
head,
you
like,
drop invisibility though?
yeah, once we're
Oh,
far
okay.
enough. Yeah, she did.
I
And
wasn't
there's
sure if
signs
you
of that.
remembered that you had it on.
No.
Oh, she had it on, and then was like sticks her head out. Is now not invisible, but now you can see that she has been absolutely distraught.
I think that could not have gone better.
You seem very pleased about this. Did you pick up on something perhaps I didn't?
Call it intuition, but I have a theory. Right now, we can connect this Mr. Pat individual to both our well, he is the suspect, I suppose, but we can now connect him to that establishment. We already have a connection for Mr. Rykki to our dearly missing young man, which he failed to acknowledge, I might add.
I mean, he may not have wanted Panna to know. She didn't realize she says Panna instead of Panama.
Quite possibly. More likely she is incredibly aware.
I mean, I think you give him too much credit. He likes knowing things a bit more than anybody else.
Possibly.
Scoop
As
looks
to
remarkably
Panama's
confused.
involved... Sorry.
No, that's my thing. Scoop looks remarkably confused during this conversation. It's just going back and forth between you two. And then checking his notes and being like, I don't have any of this.
It is my hunch, if you will. If we are able to find this Paddy, we will find the young man and Mrs. Azalea.
Mm-hmm.
And then, quite possibly, probably, he is going to point us right back here.
Maybe. Or maybe not. We don't know that yet. Besides, there are other forces other than... And she's kind of looking confused, and she still doesn't realize that she looks like she's been crying. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that Rykki probably knew who Janus was, but I don't know if he'd have a hand in it. That seems complicated. Something for someone else with more time.
That's why he's outsourced it.
Why do you have it in for him so bad? He works with he works with, well, I mean, you know who his sister is.
Yes, I am aware, but as I said, call it a hunch.
I could be entirely mistaken. Perhaps he is completely innocent of this particular crime. Sure. But
She shrugs.
admittedly, I tend not to be inaccurate. Comes with the name.
She raises a single eyebrow at that, still completely unaware. Well, if you've gotten a location, we should probably hurry and save Janus.
Well, we don't really have a location yet, but we might be able to get a list of places that are scrap metal workers, like factories, from Ciderano, since he must have done the accounting for them if they shut down.
Well, shouldn't we just go to the, what is it, Eastern Dwarnbar, Western Dwarnbar, where they said originally, and just look for a scrapyard? The city is a city, but it's not going to have that many.
Fair point. More direct. I like it.
I am in agreement. I think that would be the quickest way. And if Mr. Ciderano knew anything about this individual who had came to his establishment and yelled at him, I am sure that he would have told us where that client lived. But as we understand it, they were not a client of Mr. Ciderano. So he would not have an address to begin with. Miss Cotta, you are correct.
Yeah? Oh, right, yes. I'm so confused. There's too many lines of talking. I'm walking this way. And she, again.
The accountant actually reaches into his pocket, pulling out his, matching handkerchief. And as you're turning away, kind of politely taps you on the shoulder and offers it.
Oh, did I get dirt on me while I was looking around or something?
Perhaps a splash of water on your face.
She pauses. Thank you. Takes it slowly, shakily. I will make sure it gets back to you clean. I have my own handkerchief if you don't want to get this one soiled. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Perhaps we will, Oh, you said the east or west area, sorry.
So it would be, as we... Here's a fun little history fact about Arkpoint that I'm throwing in because me as a DM fucked up. Whoever originally designed the map of Arkpoint got their east and west confused, so now the eastern part of Dwarnborough is named West Dwarnborough. Real world mistake has become in lore canon.
It's a feature.
There was like Dornborough, and then it was West Dornborough, but then the east of Dornborough got destroyed in like a flash flood or something. Then that got more popular, then it split off into two different ones, but then the other side got destroyed, so now it's...
So you have West-East Dawnsborough and then East-East Dawnsborough.
And then as the other one was getting destroyed, the other one got refurbished and is now back as its original thing.
So that's old new East-West-Borough?
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's where I'd like to go, please.
As Scoop passes Miss Cotta, he taps her as well. Hands her a vial of antitoxin for your allergies.
Oh, thank you. Oh, I don't have any allergies. This is a fantasy world. I will live my dream.
Oh.
Or at least as far as I know. Definitely not to pollen. Definitely not to most pollens. Any pollen, really.
I just assume because the red eyes and puffy nose and things.
Yeah,
Puts it in his pocket and walks off.
She looks horrified. My eyes have gone full wide. And she's like, oh, I'm going to turn invisible again. Oh my goodness.
Is there the possibility that I could flag down a carriage by chance?
Oh, yeah. That's pretty easy.
Taxi!
Tabaxi!
Tabaxi!
You can't just say that.
Because it comes canon when you do that.
As you flag as you
Look
flag
what
down
you've done.
this carriage with it's kind of like a golden yellow color with black checkers across it and the words tabaxi taxi.
Never understood.
Yeah, at the reins of this carriage is a young, probably more middle-aged, like slightly graying calico tabaxi. What can I get you? Where can this cab get you?
This is. Were you about to say cab?
Cat
Were you
cab.
about to say- I heard cab. Yeah.
Can you please take us to West East Dawnsboro, sir?
Yes. Sure. All right.
Open
Sorry.
the door to let everyone in.
I think she's gonna face whichever. Realizing that she's gonna have to face Scoop if she sits opposite Scoop. She's gonna sit next to Scoop purposefully so she doesn't have to look him directly in the eyes as she like pats herself dry and like wipes everything down and then looks at the soiled handkerchief and like offers you theirs as like if you need one until I can get this one washed.
Thank you. And the accountant takes it and puts it back in the pocket.
It's very, there's like a small like stitching of embroidery around the thing that says the word T. It has the initials TC, and it looks like it was done very poorly.
As you all close the cab door behind you, and it takes off across towards the river and across the river towards east-west. Yeah.
The Dwarnborough.
Yeah, you're going to Dwarnborough. We will also go that direction. Maybe a bit further. As we check in with young Janus Amberwood and his compatriot. Oop, not happy. There we go. Azalea.
It's time.
Oh, that sequence had me in tears.
From laughter.
From laughter, right?
Yes.
It's
At the
all
end,
happy times here in Arkpoint, as always.
It's all good times.
I need to reveal tragic backstory just then.
Oh no.
Oh. Ooh. Yes.
It's been
Sitting
a
tied
couple
up
of
in the dark.
yeah, still tied up in the dark with Azalea. It's been maybe a couple of hours, like 2 hours, since you were last interacted with, where they gave you some food and water.
Janus is audibly humming.
Audibly? Or what's on your mind?
Kind of. All right, I'm bored. Let's get these ropes off.
What? Okay. What do you want to do?
Hey, you said you got a decent look at the knot?
Yeah.
All right. If you try to loosen it, one of us can try and slip our hands out.
Do you want me to? So you're aware, there's like rope sort of tying your two torsos together, and then separate rope tying each of your hands. So you've got a set of rope around your wrists and a set of rope around Azalea's wrists. So like, do you want to?
Oh, okay. We haven't got our wrists tied together. Okay.
No. So your wrists are tied in front of you. You're back to back with Azalea, who's got their wrists tied in front of them. Do you want me to try and
Okay.
untie yours, or like if we twist, maybe I can grab at yours?
Maybe. With the ropes around like the torso, are they like, are they over the top of the arms, or are they like
Yeah.
direct torso to torso? Okay. All right. Okay, let's see. If I try and lift my arms out, and you do the same, we might be able to get a little bit of slack out of this rope around our chest, right?
Yeah.
And then, yeah, if we get a bit of slack, we might be able to slip out.
Alright.
And Janus kind of does his best to put his bound wrists around like one knee so he can get a little bit more like force out of it.
Yeah. Alright, are you trying to use like raw strength or flexibility here?
In this case, a bit of raw strength just to get a teensy bit of slack out of the rope.
Yeah.
So this is
give
probably
me-
not going to remove the rope entirely, but
No, but
gives a bit to
you
work
know, I'll give you a strength check there.
alrighty, can do. That is a 15.
Pretty good. And not as good for Azalea, but you managed to get some slack, sort of as you've like got your arms, you know, trying to stretch this rope a bit. It definitely feels like, yeah, you've got a bit of slack now. What are you gonna use it with?
Okay. Now that we've got a bit of slack, it's not holding us so tightly together. Which means one of us might be able to slip out. Like the rope might go over one of our heads, and then the other. I think my shoulders are a bit broader. Do you want to try slipping out?
Yeah. Up or down?
Down.
I'm gonna have you roll another strength check to sort of hold the rope in place while Azalea tries to slip out.
I got you 14.
14.
Is that the mood my dice are going to be in today? Okay.
It's not a bad mood. All right. Takes a little bit of shimmying. You definitely start to feel the burn in your muscles because it takes probably a good couple of minutes, but
Oh yeah, that'll
eventually, you feel sort of Azalea slip out of the ropes, and they go sort of slack around you.
Nice.
Holy shit!
That worked. Hell yeah. Okay. And Janus is gonna kind of roll over awkwardly into all fours and then like slip the thing off like a chainmail shirt.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, the other bindings, I guess.
Yeah. Here, I'll get yours.
Thank you.
Yeah. Azalea manages to untie the ones around your wrists.
Excellent. And I will attempt to do the same for Azalea in the dark.
Yep. Azalea will give you the help action, so just a flat roll.
Yay.
I say just straight.
Just flat decks or something.
Yeah, Dex. Yeah, Dex.
Cool. That is a 9. It ain't pretty.
No. Yeah, you're fumbling too much. You can't find where the knots sort of like the rope is in the dark. It just seems to be one big mass of rope. You're not sure where the bits are. So, maybe I'll just try to cut through it on the scrap metal.
Yeah, that works actually. Now that we can move around.
And they start soaring at like a sort of sharp bit of metal. Takes about 30 seconds before they manage to get them off. Okay.
I really should have planned further ahead than this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, they're probably right out the door, right?
I'm thinking it's time for a little chat. What do you think?
What? You want to just talk to them?
I mean, they seem reasonable enough. How many reasons can you think of to take hostages?
I can't think of any, honestly. I mean, ransom is the only one that's come to mind. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't know about me. They know about you. They know your dad.
Yeah.
So they must want something from your dad.
Right?
Okay. I have no idea if this is a good idea or not, but I really would like to find out what.
I mean, you know what? Give me a persuasion roll here. Let's see how much. Let's see how much Azalea trusts you. Because you're just your work friends who went out drinking one night and got kidnapped together.
A bond has been made.
So, plot twist, Janus actually has proficiency in persuasion, so that's a 23.
Oh,
Jeez, oh my god.
yeah, Azalea seems to trust you implicitly. They like, yeah, all right, let's find out what they want. Like, they haven't hurt us yet, so at worst, we just get tied up again, I guess.
Yeah. He sort of nods, like, thinking through it, like, at worst. Knowing that, like, it might be worse, but we'll go with that.
All right. What do you do?
You'd better get comfortable. They're gonna look awful. It's like they're gonna be awful concerned if we're both standing.
Okay. And they sit back down.
I'll leisurely recline, perhaps, in all of this comfortable scrap metal with rust on it.
Yeah, they sort of just sat back down where they were when tied up, just sort of like cross-legged now. They're like not sure what to do.
And just kind of walks over very carefully to where he saw the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can sort of see like there's a bit of light coming in from like the seams of the door, sort of thing. Like you know where it is.
Oh, here goes nothing. And he knocks on the door.
The fuck?
Please be just utterly charming. Please be just utterly charming. Please be just utterly
you hear
charming.
like the latch on the other side of the door open and it swings open. And you see that human man who brought you food there. He's like, the
hello.
fuck? Hello?
Oh, it's all right. It's like, we're not going anywhere, don't worry. I was just really curious.
About what?
You've got an awful lot of scrap metal around here. What is this place? And it's very dark down here. But that's another question entirely.
This is a metal smelting place. I'm not 100% sure. Why?
Oh.
You should really... You shouldn't be standing.
Oh, I need to stretch my legs, you know? You know what it's like when you sit still for too long.
Yeah, roll a persuasion.
Okay. 18.
Alright. This guy seems
Utterly baffled.
a little, yeah, he's not being threatened at least. Now that I think about it, you shouldn't be wearing these anymore.
Hey. Okay.
You need something?
Really, I just had a few questions. That's all. Otherwise, we're all good in here.
Okay, what kind of question? I'm not sure I can really answer everything.
Like, oh well, if worst case scenario, you can go and find your boss or something. This looks like a. Actually, can I see much from like through the door around this person? Just like
roll-
vaguely.
Yeah, roll a perception check.
Oh. Now we're talking. That is a 17. My dice are like a stupid plan. Yeah, we can do that.
Honestly, behind this person, seems to be like you're kind of in a bit of a corridor, but like, to your right, it sort of seems to open up into a much bigger room. It seems to be like a factory floor of some kind. Like you see, conveyors and heavy duty machinery and stuff.
Is it noisy or is it does it seem like it's offline?
It's all still. It's completely like nothing's running at all. It's just, it seems to be like, yeah, a factory that is, yeah, a lot of industrial machinery and whatnot. From your vague guess, it's, you know, smelting machinery.
Did you say it was scrap smelting? You said this was a smelting place. It's awful quiet.
Yeah, it's,
Slow day?
yeah. Yeah, it's not going right now.
Anything in particular slowing you down, or is there...
I mean,
aside from there's the gestures to...
yeah, that's kind of the thing, isn't it? It I don't know, man. I was just told to guard this door.
Oh, excellent. Well, you're doing a very good job.
Yes.
You seem to have some issue with Azalea's father, Mr. Ciderano. I'm really curious about that, actually. I mean, I figure you probably want something.
I mean, I'm gonna ask for another persuasion check here.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair. That's well deserved. That is a muddy 20. It's okay. You can talk to me. We're not going anywhere.
Look, I'm not really. I've just been asked to keep an eye on you. I'm not really involved in everything else. From what I can tell, I don't know, one of these guys was... A couple of these people have some sort of problem with Ivani or whatever his name is, and they're trying to get back at him. But yeah, no, man, I'm just here to make sure you don't get out. I'm just here for whatever paycheck we get at the end of this.
Okay. don't suppose your boss is around. They might be able to. Oh, they might have a more of an idea of what this is all about, and
Probably. I mean,
that was Hawk, was it?
Yeah.
Huh.
I could go get him. Probably won't be happy that you're standing. That's your head.
Oh, thanks for the heads up. And Janus is going to turn around and make moves to sit down on the floor.
This man watches you do that, closes the door, and you hear it latch.
So far, so good.
Couple of minutes later, the door opens again. And, yeah, do you stand up or anything? You just let them walk in?
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
Maybe when whoever steps in is in full view, I'll start submitting.
Yeah. So you see that same silhouette that you saw first time, the sort of stocky, weird, it seems like odd sort of hair. You wanted to talk to me?
Oh, yes, I had some questions, actually. Janus kind of stretches and slowly gets up.
You sort of see them kind of give a mock punch to the human, and it's like, Banjo, your fucking knots need work. Okay. How can I help? You've been such a nice guest so far.
I was a little curious about what the goings on were with the Citaranos. I understand they move a lot of money around, so something must have happened.
That they do. They takes a look at Azalea. They're involved in some unscrupulous business, as it were. And that has victims. Unfortunately, sometimes those victims want a bit of payback. You know, it's unfair that they've been wronged by someone else doing the wrong thing. So we're here to just make amends, you understand? No one needs to get hurt. We just want the money that's been paid out back. And to maybe ensure that this sort of thing never happens again.
So it's like, I take it you lost out on a metal job or something? Some sort of contract?
Another persuasion. This is a new person you're trying to get new information from.
Yep. Disarming as possible. That is a 16.
Your rolls are hot today.
They are good
It's
today.
to make up for him being smacked about in the first interaction.
Yeah, it's true. Like, your rolls...
Well, they
Yeah.
were
Rolls are
horrendous.
really good now, but only because the karma of the earlier session has told you, do not fight this.
Yeah. Nah, not me personally. I'm just here to facilitate the goings on, as it were. I represent a client who's asked for the help in reimbursement, as it were.
Oh, so you're more like mercenary types rather than like the big burly scrap metal workers.
I mean, me personally, yes.
He's gonna kind of Janus is going to look them up and down actually and see if Mr. Hawk or Mr. Banjo look like the mercenary types, quote unquote, that he may have seen before.
Give me a perception first, and then give me an insight.
Okay, what's my perception? It is.
Are you still sitting on the floor with Hawk sort of standing in the doorway, or have you like?
I have stood up.
And
that is a 7 on the perception check, and the insight is probably not going to be much better. Oh dear.
Oh no.
That is a nat 1.
Okay.
You okay? Comedy ensues.
Janus. I mean, Janus had a pretty sheltered upbringing, but in recent times has been around a lot of rough and tumble kind of people. But you honestly have no idea, like, the looks of certain, like, you know, from your most recent companions, for example, you have no. Someone's look doesn't mean anything about their occupation.
They do not yet fit the stereotype. Gotcha.
Yeah, you don't have an idea of what a mercenary is in your head, and these people that you're looking at, you're just second guessing yourself about what they could do. And yeah, it's pretty roll poor perception, so I wouldn't say you get any more details just looking at Hawk either. But yeah, as he says, not a steel worker himself.
I see. Well, I suppose send my condolences to the boss. If he lost out on work, it's quite surprising given the usage of metal in dwarven ship hulls. But anyway, a city like this, that'd be a lot of work. Sorry, I'm getting off track. Thank you. I think that's everything for now.
Good to know.
I'll go sit back down again.
Appreciated.
And Janus does so.
There's no point tying you up again. Alright. Give me one more perception check as the door closes. Roll one for Azalea.
Well, evidently my dice throw technique has changed, because that's another nat 1.
Oh, okay.
Janus is too busy sitting down.
Yeah, you just hear the clang of the door and nothing else. But like, after you sort of get comfortable again, Azalea, I think they're getting another guard for the door.
What? Oh, I suppose that makes sense. I'm noticing a pattern.
Huh?
I didn't pick it at first, but... Why is it whenever there's crime in this city, it's the small local businesses that get the short end of the deal? It keeps happening.
I don't know, I guess maybe they're easy picking. You mess with
gotta do something about that.
Yeah, you mess with someone with wealth or power and probably come and get back to you.
Hawk was right, that doesn't seem fair. Huh.
No, I guess not.
Keep an eye out for that. Okay. Well, guess we'll get comfortable again.
And you do, sir. And let's check back in to our rest of the party. 1 second. find Warnborough
Miss
scene.
Cotta's heart is Miss Cotta's heart is palpitating, but I'm gonna say that is a vibe of being caught, having been emotional, and totally not the abject sense of somebody that she really cares for being in danger and in a situation that would stress her the fuck out. So, you would, what is it? Scoop in the cabaxi? Tabacab. Krabaski. What did we call it?
It's a tabaxi taxi or a cat cab, colloquially.
Cat chaos. So
The calico for when you're on the go.
the calico for when you're on the go. Oh my god. That's perfect.
Let's call it here. We're not gonna get better than that.
Perfect.
I'm writing that down as future merch. Anyway,
Why is my visual not loading? Give me a
Because
second.
the cab's dark.
we're in the interior. It's fine.
There we go.
But Miss Cotta will, like, the account giving the powerful observation of observing that he has, and sitting, probably you would be directly across if we were in a cab, right? Because you'd need the entire seat for the most part, right?
That is correct.
Yes.
I
So
didn't want
I
to
would
say
say-
anything. You thought so much about where you were gonna sit. Like you had
Because-
options.
Yes. So what one side of the cat? Who's riding backwards? I guess is the question there. Is it Miss Scoop? Is it Miss Cotta and
doesn't matter.
Scoop, or is
Miss
it?
Miss Cotta is wherever is not looking directly at Scoop.
It's.
I am riding backwards.
There we go.
Powers of observation be damned, still knows everything.
So you.
You would have seen. Sorry.
Yes. You.
She would have like after the handkerchief exchange and she would have neatly folded it, made sure to they put it in a place in her basket, then reconsider the placement, and it's like, well, shouldn't put it next to that, and then put it somewhere else. And she is has the edges of her sleeves are getting worn in. She's just fiddling. She's had her hair in her hands and she's been just the one plait has been unloosened and she's like, oh dang it, and then untied it and then tied it, and she's just full fret. Huh.
Miss Cotta.
Yes. Sorry.
Please, I understand. This is quite a stressful situation.
Yes. Janus is. Poor Janus.
I'm going to ask you, and I'm only going to pry once.
Yes.
Right now, it is quite possible the life of our friend is very much in danger. And I take that incredibly seriously, as I understand that everyone else here does. However, and I look directly to Miss Cotta at this point, we cannot allow our personal emotions on this to get in the way of finding this pair, both of them. Are you okay to continue?
She takes a deep breath, and you see her shoulders straighten back, and you've seen her play with her hair and then run her fingers up her arms before when she's been really nervous. It's a habit for her that she doesn't recognize as a habit. But as she straightens back, she's like, I'll be fine. But to be fair, Mr. Accountant, the main reason we're here is because of personal feelings about Janus. Well, I am at least. As far as I know, both of you are you're both being paid to do this. I'm just the maid. I'm just here to help clean and sort other stuff out, I guess. It won't get in the way. Once we're on the go, it's sitting still I don't like.
I don't think I'm being paid. I'm doing this for the investigation itself, pure and simple. And don't worry about me, accountant. I never get emotional on an investigation. Emotions are itchy things. I don't like them.
Well, if you don't like emotions, how do you know that they're itchy? Isn't that
No,
feeling them?
Only if I allow myself to.
Like, Miss Cotta has like a genuine look of concern at that. Just like, what happened to you?
That's not important.
Alright, anyway.
Mr.
We'll
Scoop,
address that later.
but just to ensure, when I was given this job, one of the people involved was Mr. Rykki, the owner of the establishment we just went to. Not to say that he is an employer of mine, but he is related to the employer. And what is important to note there was he who gave me Janus's sending stone. Now, as you may recall, he seemed very certain that this event took nowhere near his establishment. Which does beg a question. I've often found in my line of work, it is more important that people think you are incompetent than they think you are dangerous. And for those with good egos, it is usually easier too. It is my belief that in some manner, perhaps not directly, that at least the owner of the establishment, that Rykki, is somehow involved in this. I do not know how, but what information he has put forward does not align with the information we already have and can verify. What is more important, however, is it is very likely they think we are fools and idiots.
Like, like, Miss Cotter's be like, yeah.
Well, if they underestimate us, they're the fools and the idiots.
To be fair, Rykki thinks everyone's an idiot.
That only makes this a little bit easier.
But I will add to that. If anything were to happen, you said Panama was one of them, right?
That is correct.
She's much easier to read, always had her heart on her sleeve. She would have twigged if he was lying. Unless she's gotten better at it. And then she looked so disappointed.
Or she was also in on the lie.
Panama can't lie. Just immediately drop defiant. No. She's a horrible liar. It's why she only gets drunk around people she can flirt her way out of poker earnings for. She can't lie.
Does everyone know these people but me?
Quick question. Just out of curiosity.
Yes.
Do I know that to be true, having worked with this person?
I mean, you could roll me an insight check.
I would love to roll you an insight check. Thank God it's not another 3. 17. Oh yeah, I've only rolled 3s. Stupid. But no,
God,
17 this time.
Yeah, from your experience with Panama, she's very, like, she's not good at keeping things inside. Like, she'll just say her mind. You know, if she feels a thing, you know it. You've seen her get violent very quickly. You've seen her get flirtatious very quickly. Yeah.
Hmm. Admittedly, that is a valid point. It's just, if this was a simple, if this was a simple kidnapping, a ransom would have been made by now.
Then it's not simple.
And I do not like that. Because everybody else who is involved is very simple.
You're not.
I wouldn't say I'm involved in the kidnapping personally.
Fair. Regardless.
Well,
You're right. For now, finding this former scrap business is probably the best step we can take. If we find Pat, whatever, it is very likely this will point us in the correct direction. Get the boy back.
Right.
Solve the mystery later.
that's true.
And to be fair, us reaching him is probably going to give us a lot more answers because at least we'll be able to get it out of their bloody mouths.
Exactly.
Most definitely. So, and with that, she's like, no, let's try not. We're gonna need to leave at least somebody conscious. As she starts walking and starts to plan, like, no formaldehyde, no. And she starts like just mumbling like different types of toxins under her breath, like what would still work but would paralyze completely.
Well, if there's one thing I know,
We need their tongue to work. We can't use that one.
is that this is generally how these stories go. Final thing, then someone starts spilling their guts.
Oh, they will. They will confess if I have anything to say about it.
As you finish this conversation, the cab comes to a stop, and you hear sort of like a thunk thunk from the driver. It's like, all right, we're in the middle of Dornborough.
We're in Dornborough, TM.
I get out and pay the cab.
Steps out as Miss Cotta. Gotta keep some appearances up.
Skies.
Speaking about keeping appearances up, Scoop steps out and starts patting his pockets, and it's like, goodbye.
He's already paid it, Mr. Scoop.
Oh, I'll get you. I'll get the next one. Yep.
We have
I'll be
two
holding you to that.
opportunities. Two options going forward. We can look around for any businesses that have closed up shop, boards on windows, closed signs, etc. Or we could try and speak to anyone and see if they're just aware of such a business closing down in the area.
I think that would be the fastest. If this Pat individual you've described was half as upfront and loud at the Sidorana office, you know for a fact that someone's heard him complaining, top of his lungs probably.
Chances are as well that perhaps someone's benefited from this. There's a bit of a windfall.
Or in whatever scrap businesses are still around, ask them.
Investigate! Can we investigate?
Yes, you
How do I
may.
how do I do an investigate?
What do we
Oh,
do?
you just
After that,
You have a skill that you roll a dice and add the number on the dice to the number
No.
represented by your skill.
That sounds like crazy talk.
So, yeah, I'll ask for an investigation from, I guess, each of you. Make this a group check. How are each of you going about it? Like, just a...
Mr. Scoop,
yeah.
this is your area of expertise. The
Well,
floor is yours. How can I be of assistance?
last time I did a bit of a door-to-door, I didn't go very well. Mainly because it was like 4 a.m. or something like that. But this is a much more reasonable hour for that. People are generally a bit more open to speaking with you at this time. Try and go to some of the ones that have the, that are clearly currently in use, because people are probably inside. Otherwise, you're just standing at a door, knocking for hours and hours, and then it starts raining, and... Oh.
Understood. Thank you. and I will go find the nearest business and knock on its door.
Yeah. Give me an investigation roll.
I offer 10.
10. So the nearest business right now is a carpentry sort of shop.
Interesting.
I see that.
I
Uh,
knock on the door.
Yep.
Du-du-du-du-du-du.
Open it up, and there's a human woman standing there, sort of apron, leather apron and gloves covered in sawdust. Her hair sort of pulled back in a bunch. Like, hi.
Good afternoon, madam. I am part of a local initiative. Seeking out businesses who are struggling or have recently collapsed due to lack of financial aid. We've recently moved into this area, and we are making sure that we find those who are in desperate need so that we may apply aid reasonably and responsibly. But unfortunately, I am not familiar with this area. I am under the impression there is some sort of scrap metal place here that has recently closed down. And I was hoping you might be able to offer me some directions if you were familiar.
I don't know any scrap metal place personally, but a lot of the metal works are more towards the coast than here. Like, probably that direction. I know there's a lot of metal working over there.
Thank you so much, madam. I would have been wandering these streets for hours.
Happy to help.
Apologies, I didn't get your name.
My name is Vern.
Thank you so much, Vern. It's muchly appreciated. When we get back to this area, I'll be sure to swing by and just double check that you're doing all right.
All right. Thank you. Gives you a curious look and starts to close the door.
And I start to turn and walk away.
I head over to Scoop. You know, that worked a lot better than I expected.
Yeah.
Turns
Didn't
out all
find
the
it.
metal work is in that direction.
Oh, brilliant. Saves us a lot of time. That way.
Words cannot even begin to describe how vindicated I feel from this entire session that, like, the first thing out of my mouth was completely right. Thank you. Anyway. Miss Cotta, as soon as we hit the coast, is going to go to the closest sandwich shop. Or the person who feeds the majority of the workers when they go on their lunch break, and probably hears them bitch and moan and whine. Again, refits herself sort of nervously, makes an effort to make her look like she's got a, she looks more seamstressy, if possible. When she interacts with, hello, sorry to bother ya.
I mean, give me an investigation check to see if you can find such a place.
Oh god, investigation's not a skill I look at on this list because I'm not the investigator. That would be a 13.
All right. Yeah, you managed to find this this place that sells like fried fish and potatoes and stuff.
Local fish and chippery, yep. Chippo? I don't know if they call them a chippo here.
There's also like some like fried little dumpling type things, I guess.
The little rounded thingies that we were talking about when we were designing the Arkpoint souvenir goods.
Yeah.
Spud shards, perhaps.
Bloodshot. That's pretty good. Um. Uh. Hello. Sorry to bother you.
You,
Hi.
you see this sort of half dwarven fellow with like quite greasy looking. Well, hello. Can I help you?
Brilliant smile. Sorry. I'm looking for a client. My boss is sick at the moment, but I'm in charge of delivering their shirts, and apparently they may, when we try to go and get credit for the or get the money to fill the docket. Apparently we'd heard that their business had closed down. Now, I'll be honest with you, their handwriting was pretty atrocious, and I couldn't read the address. Do you know someone called Pat that works at some sort of metal... They were getting some tailoring job for some sort of meeting with the bank or something, or an accountancy?
Can't say.
He's tallish, apparently orcish in sort of features.
Yeah.
Got quite drunk the other night as well, I heard. I'm so sorry.
I mean, I
Just
don't know anything like that, but in terms of places that went out of business here recently, there's like the Blackmore Smelter. Blackmore Smelter.
Oh yes, that sounds like it'd be pretty close. Again, handwriting atrocious.
Yeah.
And she brings out the
like-
piece of paper that Scoop gave her. Just like, absolutely nothing. This paper is blank. I don't know what to do with it. And she puts it back.
Yeah, that's very odd. Yeah, but yeah, no, some of the guys used to come here for lunch, and I haven't seen them in a week and a half. Yeah, from what I heard, yeah, they went out of business or something. So good luck.
Alright. Is there anyone there? Will I still be able to see anybody? Do you have any idea?
I
just
can't say
trying
I've been there
to
myself, but as I said, I haven't seen any there. The workers from there recently. Just heard what some of the other workers said.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. This kind of comes back. What is it? Blackmore Smelty?
The Blackmore Smelter.
Blackmore Spilter, just that way, apparently.
Alrighty.
But they didn't say if the place was occupied, and they didn't say if there was what's the lack of a better word? People haven't been coming by for a while. I didn't get a good exact time zone, but I'm assuming around the same time it shut down.
Well, Mr. Scoop, if you could do us the service of locating the Black Small Smithy.
Very well. I'm gonna have a look through and basically go through all the signs to see if there's any ones that are like to rule out any ones that actually have a sign on them, and of saying something else. And anything that doesn't have a sign, or perhaps looks closed up, or has bars on its windows, it's things that don't have smoke stacks coming out and have the sounds and rumbles of an active factory. And obviously, if I just happen to come across one that has the exact sign, I'm gonna be like, there it is. Finger guns. So that, with my investigation, is at 23.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you wander the streets a little bit, sort of in the direction that you got from the chippy. And you wander past a lot of different sort of industrial sort of areas. There's places that seem to be, making, smelting ore and making things, like you hear machinery working and people yelling and steam whistles and all the sounds of industry. But eventually you come across a large sort of not super large, and it's on the smaller side compared to a lot of some of these other places, but it's still not a small building. Sort of chain link fence surrounding it, and it doesn't seem to be active at all. There's sort of a canvas tarp sort of thing thrown over what looks to be a business sign in the front of it. You take that off. And you see Blackmore's scrap smelting.
Eureka. I give a click and like a hand signal and wave them over here.
That was actually surprisingly quick, Mr. Scoop. Do you have good news for us?
Yes, I think I found it.
There seems to be no activity inside. The sort of the smokestack isn't running at all.
Can you hear anything?
If people want to give me a perception check. Also,
Thank you.
Can I assist by like checking for sort of signs of lights or
Yeah.
signs of like things that even if it is shut down, the window, they wouldn't have opened this window, for example, to let in air for someone having a smoke break, that sort of thing.
Perception, huh?
19 on the perception, and also I'm going to carefully try the door handle.
so it's a chain link fence, sort of a couple of feet. Like you got probably about 15 feet from the building itself. The gate seems to be chained shut.
Well,
I
26
could jump
on
up.
the perception.
Yep.
And I'm going to
Also,
try
sir,
and use my
I have
you
just a
first.
quick question. How are you guys just standing outside, looking around, or
Well,
Trying to look casual.
trying to look casual?
I
Okay.
am.
to be fair,
I
you
never
would
look
be.
casual.
It's true. He's in a suit and takes an
Second
entire thing to take off the jacket.
So what was everyone's perception score?
Oh, I'm
That's
assisting the accountant.
passive or
was what I
roll?
said.
Oh,
19
didn't
from
realize
the
you weren't-
accountant.
I got 26.
Private eye.
As you're
Private eye.
checking the chain on the gate, and Scoop has like removed this canvas and looking at the sign, out of like from the corner of your eyes, you both sort of look up at the same time to catch a face in a window, sort of staring at you guys, and then sort of dart away from the window.
Beyond the chain fence?
Yeah, so in the building. So
In the building.
there was a window in the building, and this face, like, probably on the second floor. It's about, or third-ish floor. The building is kind of tall, but yes, there are only two sets of windows, from you can see, and in this top set of windows, you see this face, and it sort of just darts away. That's where we're going to leave this session.
You said we could meet him by the end of this one. No!
promised.
You know where he is. But
He's right
You
there. He's
there,
still in ropes, but not really. But also still.
2 feet in
if
front
we
of
go
us.
any further, the scene will go for a much longer time, and we don't
That's
have the time for that.
Crying face.
Can I then clarify one thing with
Yes.
my compatriots?
You may.
The accountant tries to be pretty cool about this, or rather doesn't make a big deal about it because he doesn't know how to be cool about things. Kind of looks at the other two.
So in this moment, we have an interesting decision. We could go in, or we could continue the charade.
I was gonna ask you to help me jump the fence, but all right.
I was going to try and unlock it.
Well, I believe that answers that.
Cool. I just wanted to double check what everyone else wanted to do.
That's fair.
Oh yeah, no, we're breaking in.
Gotta rescue your boy.
It's right there. I'm fine. I'm not fine, but I'm fine.
So we'll end the session there, and we will be
You
picking.
thought you weren't going to get a cliffhanger this week? Yes, again.
Arkpoint is nothing but
Okay.
cliffhangers.
In fairness, it is a soft cliffhanger.
Yeah, less cliffhangery than usual.
We are at the front door to the action.
So next
Mhm.
session will be the 4th of August, if I'm correct on this.
Yes.
Yes. So 2 weeks from now. 4th of August, 3 p.m. Australian Eastern Time. So look forward to that.
Just out
As
of
a-
curiosity,
Mhm.
while I remember to ask, because I'll make a note of this for next session, how tall would you say that fence is?
Am I eatable?
I'd say about 2.5 meters. So
Perfect.
that's however many feet.
About 9.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are
Perfect.
are you remembering the high jump rules?
Oh, as a monk by trade, you know, just wanted to check
Yeah.
where I was at.
And as an 8 foot something person, right?
8'4".
I didn't take that
different
part
kind
into
of
consideration, but yes.
Miss Cotta, climb me.
And
Uh,
Janus is no
Alright.
longer tied up.
yes.
That's actually a really fair point.
Yes. My stress right
It's
now.
fine. Things are fine. These are things.
It's
When in
fine.
doubt, the grinning idiot card works treat.
The wrong person would not work, but
Yeah.
I was
You're
joking
lucky
that
they don't
this-
know who you are as well.
There's that. I
Yeah.
was so gritting my teeth. I'm like, please don't tell them. This goes from so 0 to 100.
Thank you all for coming. We appreciate your
All the
patronage.
lovely subs and donos.
Yes, it's so good to see. Thank you so much, everyone. We will see you next session, and as always, don't forget to stay inspired.
You know.
stay inspired.
Woo, stay inspired.
Ta-da.
it.